But before we get started, I want to say a big thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, and that is Garage Door Service and Sales, garagedoorserviceandsales.com. Maybe you've been thinking to yourself, I want to make a change to my home, but that gets so expensive. That gets so overwhelming. Then you and your spouse can't decide if you're going to paint and then what paint color. I personally, if we were to paint our house tomorrow, I'd want to just do all black. All black, but I don't think that Ryan would go for that. So it's kind of like those kind of arguments, something that we do and we still to this day agree on, and we're so happy that we did, is we got a new garage door from Garage Door Service and Sales. We gave them a call. They're family owned and operated, locally owned and operated, and there are so many different garage doors to choose from. And when I say they change the look of your home, please believe me, because it's absolutely true. So Garage Door Service and Sales, a big thank you to them for being a show sponsor. So we can do this every single day. Well, not every day, but 5 days a week. That he's getting so big. That's what's so like big. Completely freaks me out. Is the fact that I actually knew Misty Hempstone back in her pregnancy days, and the kid that she was pregnant with just walked by, and he's like probably has hair on his chest at this point. I'm so old, I feel.
And you were going to be my birthing photographer, but it didn't work out.
I was. Oh, I forgot about that. I had like a camera, and I was like, it was all charged, and I made sure to have like, this was back really before people used there's the kid right there, that kid.
Where do you see him?
He's right behind you. Here. I was going to say, if there is not a kid behind you, we have a problem. He needs to ask.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
He said, is this your work?
Sadly, little man. Go to college like your mom did. Let me find our problem, okay, Misty?
What's our problem? We're not delayed? Like everything's
like our running. No, like our problem.
Oh, the problem we're talking about.
Our like actual problem. Hang on. You sound really loud, and I don't even know. It might be just, this is how non-technical I am. I'm like, God, you sound so loud. It could also be that I have my headphones turned up all the way. I'm like ridiculous. It's embarrassing how bad I am with technology. And then I'm like, wow, that's dumb. Okay. So Misty Hempstone, AKA Dr. G, she is certified and trained in mental health. We don't have to go into it, but I mean, she's the real deal. It's not like when I give advice, and I really should give 0 people advice. It's Misty here who should be giving the advice, and that's actually what you do. You help people when they're having, are you okay?
I was organizing something.
First of all, you look really cute today. Be sure to go on, just to see her, onto the YouTube channel and search for Sadie and Friends, because you get like the full episode on video with bonus content. And you look very doctor-ish today, like professional.
The secret is I haven't showered.
Is that the secret?
I mean, I still have my workout clothes on.
Oh my God. I still have my workout clothes on. And
look at us.
I know. And do you know what? Like, I'm like a college student where I'm doing this load of laundry, and I'm like just taking my clothes off because I just want to throw it in and get it all cleaned. And so I thought, oh shoot, I have to record, and I got my sports bra on, and so I just wore this lumberjack shirt.
This sweater is my work sweater that I throw on no matter what I'm wearing to be professional.
Do you ever take like appointments with like just your bra on and then you just cover it up? It's like a sexy, fun secret. Because I used to do back in the corporate world during COVID, when you would have to like have all the Zoom calls, I would sometimes do them in my underwear because I was like, it's insane. No one knows.
No one knows what you're doing. I mean, I've been in my PJs, like no bra on, and I just throw a sweatshirt on. You can't tell.
Oh, your job is so cool. Anyway, it's Stephanie's job to help people, and this is a very high tense time for a lot of people during the holidays. Emotions run high during the holidays. And so people, I think, have more problems, or maybe the problems that they already have been dealing with just get magnified under this like holiday lens. You know what I'm talking about? Or does that make no sense? I think that makes
It
sense.
makes perfect sense, yeah.
Okay, so they said we're at a time of year with the holidays where tensions could be running high, and somebody has an issue with office life, with work, the work environment, which is strange because everyone that I know still works at their house. I don't really know
Mhm.
anybody that goes in anymore.
Unless you have, like, an actual just in-person required job, I think, of surgeons or certain, medical professionals. If you're working even court can be virtual, but most people, like attorneys, are in person. Like, people are in person,
Yeah.
but a lot of people, I agree, most people I know still either work full-time at home or a hybrid blend.
So I'm going to read the issue, and I post this every week on the Facebook page because that's where you can really put comments where people can see. We got a couple comments, so we'll read those as well. But here's the issue that the person is writing in, the issue that they're having in their office. It says, "Dear Dr. G." It didn't really say that, but I always add that at the beginning so it sounds official. So if you write in, I'll just add it for you. You don't have to say that. Just jump into the problem. It says, "I've worked in finance and banking for almost 3 years, and prior to that, I ran my own small business in the health industry. After my business sank during COVID, I got a job as a bank teller, and then I got a promotion, and I continued to do like really, really well. So then I got ambitious and I kept wanting to grow in the company. There was a job for a manager position that opened up, and I got excited, but then I realized I don't have the proper college training. I didn't go to a 4-year college, which is needed for this particular job." He says, "I technically enrolled and I did some, but I never finished, but I just lied."
Like, just put that they had a college degree on their resume?
Yes. He said,
Okay.
I lied. I said, yes, I did finish college. I went to business school because I'm already know that. How did he put this? Because I'm trying to like give a synopsis. People like to go into a lot of detail. Um, So the guy says, "I lied and said I've had." Oh, see, he lied saying he not only had the degree, but he went on to say he had vast experience obtaining credit for businesses. See, I feel like that's a big lie. That's a big lie. I would not know how to do that. And then if you start the job, but this guy's doing really well. What he did is he Googled questions that, you can Google anything. He Googled questions that he thought would be asked during the interview process, so he quick fired. I don't know. This guy didn't go to college, but I think he's pretty smart for pulling this off. So he went from a $75,000 job to a manager job at $140,000, but he says he is now riddled with guilt, which I think is so weird. I think we're both going to agree on this. He says, "How can I rid myself of this guilt and continue on this career path? It's too late for me to go to college. It's so expensive to go back to college. If I already have a job, what is it going to hurt that I don't actually have a degree in what I'm doing if I'm good at it?" But it is still a lie, Stephanie, or Dr. G, or Misty Gemstone.
I mean, there's so many names out there. I'm gonna let you go first this time. I have
You
thoughts and
have
questions, but it's your turn to go first this time.
Well, I'm agreeing with everybody that commented on this, and everybody that commented said, if you're good at the job, then you just need to hang on to the job and forget about the fact that you're not really trained for it. But that's really ballsy. And, he's handling finances and people's money. I feel like he could get into a lot of trouble if it came out, right? Or if I don't know, is that a serious offense, lying?
I mean, So hear me out first. Of course, yes, it's never good to lie about something on a resume because what if something does come out?
Right.
However, this isn't a job that he's lying about false like licenses or certain credentials that put him at risk. This is just saying he has that college education, which unfortunately in the corporate world, and I haven't worked for a lot of corporate companies, but it's almost a standard, like a checkbox. Yes, you need this. And there are companies out there that are saying, no, you don't need any kind of education anymore as long as you have experience. And that could be life experience, it could be previous work, it could be anything.
I think
And
in
so it,
radio I think in radio, it was more or less like they didn't want people who went to college because then they probably knew how to do math and would question payroll. They're like, "We like them nice and stupid."
but I
And
think this
I did
person,
it.
you did a great job. You've excelled in your career and you were able to like break off and do your own thing now.
It's true. Go ahead, it's not about me, it's about this person that is
But
has,
this
like
person sounds competent. They sound resourceful. They sound like they have the skills. They owned a business. Yes, it crumbled during COVID, but a lot of businesses did. And they worked their way up. They were a bank teller and they got promotion. So they're a good employee from what you can see, and they have a great skill set. And I think it's really resourceful that they Googled all that information because guess what exists out there now? The internet where you can learn anything. And it's hard because you can go to college and you can spend the money, you can get a degree. I think there is worth behind college degrees. And I also think there's worth behind like learning the skills and learning from people. Look at the podcasts out there where you can learn and YouTube and like you really could
It's
learn
true. I
so
mean,
much
you can learn anything you want to learn and more, just by going
with what
onto
we
the
have
internet.
available.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, so do you think because Ryan and I are very different when it comes to this, because I don't think you should go to a four-year college unless you know what you wanna do, unless you have a clear idea and you have to have it. Like, you wanna be a doctor.
Yeah.
If I
There are
wanna be a
things you
doctor,
have to get a degree for. 100%.
but personally, I think it's a waste of money if you don't know what you want to do. And especially nowadays, you can kind of just make up your own job, like content creator and shit like that. And they'll offer classes, but I think people are like, I think I could jump over the whole college experience. Now, again, Ryan and I are completely different when it comes to this because he thinks that it is so important to get that four-year college education. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, that's a lot of money if you're getting it just to experience getting it.
And what's saying you have to get it right after high school? If you don't know what you want to do and that's where you want to explore different trades or you want to explore just different types of work, you may down the line say, you know what? Yeah, I do want to go back to college now because I need a degree for X, Y, and Z. And maybe you never actually need to because you can learn a lot more in the real world business wise than tangible or, than you can going to college and sitting in classes.
I have
It
to
depends
tell,
on what you want to go into.
but I have to tell you, I knew a lot of interns that went to, I don't remember what it's, I don't even want to name the school, but it's like a broadcasting school. It's
Yeah.
broad, like official broadcasting school name. And I was always like, "What are you doing? What are you
Mhm.
doing? You're wasting your money. You are wasting it." I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that, but I'm being honest. It's not like cutting hair where you really need to learn. It's like, can you talk, And oddly enough, some people cannot talk. They're not comfortable and
Mhm.
I find it to, and it's like thousands of dollars. It's
I like how
ridiculous.
they do it in Europe. The Europe way for college, culturally, most people take a year off between high school and college to travel and just to live life and to explore and figure out what you want to do. Like that's kind of a
Really?
it's not a standard. It's not what most people do, but I learned that. Yeah, when I studied abroad in college, I met so many people and they're like, "Oh, I'm in my like transition year." After high school, you just figure out what you want to do or you explore and you learn about yourself. And then you go to college after a year. And college there's 3 years because you only take classes for whatever you're going for. So when you enroll, you're enrolling specifically for whatever your degree is going to be. College here, you have to take a year of fluff, you have to take a year of general studies, and then you start actually getting into what your degree is about. And so there is a monetary piece, I think, to college over here that's not beneficial to anyone.
Yeah, I think taking a year off is looked at as a bad thing here in America. It's like you can't
Yeah.
take a year off, you're never going to continue on. And that's probably true for a lot of people, but I don't know, were they going to continue on if they didn't take that year off? Probably not. I don't know. But
Yeah.
people did
Back to
have
the Go ahead.
yes, sorry,
Back to our
the
situation.
back to the actual situation about the guy. He lied pretty significantly. And he really said he's a master skillsman. I feel like if I would lie, I would just pull it back a little and be like, yeah, I got that degree. But I wouldn't go into how brilliant I was at it. But anyway, this guy is now riddled with guilt. He's making twice as much money. He feels like karma wise, it sounds like he's feeling really bad about it. So should he say something and tell his boss and risk being fired? Or should he just forever bury that secret and hope he doesn't get caught one day?
Well, and I think that's the risk, right? Like I don't like living with guilt or anything. So I am the type of person who would eventually either have to quit the job or come clean because I just it would eat me inside. And that's just how I am. Some other people don't function that way. And
Are
so
you
I
talking
always
about are you talking about
I
me? Because I did say, well, if the guy can do it, it sounds like he's being pretty resourceful.
I
And then you come on and you're like, I mean, I have a conscience. It would keep me up at night. And I'm like, yeah, no, me too.
I was not
Uh,
finger pointing at
is
you.
this why I went first? That is totally a trick I won't fall for again.
No, no, no. I think this if I were this gentleman, I probably would ask certain questions to see what would happen. Like I'd talk with my boss and maybe ask like, well, it depends on the relationship you have with your boss too. Like asking she's like, why do they require college degrees for this role? Or I don't know. I always want to gather information and be curious to find out. Um,
I love that you would try to see why would you even need a degree? Am I right, everybody? And everyone's
like, why
like,
do you
why?
need this?
They're like, we just want your lunch order. Right. But I mean, why would you need to go to college for this job? Or I have never heard of anybody if we're talking about getting caught and that fear of getting caught, I've literally never heard of anybody actually being asked, may I please see your college diploma or
I haven't
degree?
for a
College
lot of
diploma.
jobs, except if you have if you're in a job that requires a certain credential and license, you have to submit your college degree to make sure it's from a certain like type of credentialed university. You have to submit your licenses, your certifications for proof. Like, but that's different than this gentleman's role.
Yeah, I think anything in like medical or healthcare, who's going to lie about that? I mean, the rubber's going to meet the road pretty quick when someone comes in and needs actual help. To where if this guy is good at math and he's working at a banking job, I don't know. But you say you couldn't live with it, so you would say something?
I pro- I I couldn't live with it, so I probably would not have lied in the first place about a
Oh,
college degree. But if
you
I
would
did,
never just get caught up in a moment and throw it out there.
I think though the other part, what did you say? He said he's like a business credit expert.
Yeah, I mean, it says, okay, hang on. He said on the resume, I lied and I said I've had vast experience obtaining credit for businesses, which is what this new position is. So
And
that
I guarantee from owning your own business and also working as a bank teller, you do have that experience. Like there's a there's a lot of people that if they don't have the exact like words or type of background that they think they're not qualified when they really do have the skill set. So for me, the only big lie I see on this is that they say they graduated college. Otherwise, you're just enhancing the skills that you probably already have or you've taught yourself and learned. And I think that's okay. There's a lot
you
of people who
do?
discredit themselves and they actually
Oh,
have the skill set. And it sounds like this person
is gonna be
has
really
skill set.
so he should just he still
If
lied though, he still lied. You couldn't live with it.
I mean, I'm not everyone.
I could live with it. I mean I'm sorry, I'm going to hell. But let's see what the people are commenting on. Hattie says, "You got the job and you're doing well at it, and you're going to have a few things to learn as you go. Definitely wouldn't recommend lying on a resume because it'll bite you in the butt. But what do you do now?" That's what she says. What are you going to do now? You're so in deep. You're so in deep, like on Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Do you remember that movie?
Oh gosh, I do
She, like,
remember that
totally
movie.
randomly got this amazing job in fashion, and she was, like, 16. Katie chimed in and said, "You cannot rid yourself of guilt because a lie is a lie. I mean, a lie is a lie. Maybe enroll in some business classes and try to catch up." I don't know why I'm laughing at that. Maybe enroll that's a good idea. Maybe if you feel that bad, enroll in some night classes slowly, get that business degree on the sly, and then if it ever comes up, or at least it'll rid you of guilt knowing that you were trying to get to that destination. Like you tried.
Yeah, I mean, you can get an associate's degree
Oh
in
my,
business too. That's
yeah, see? But then again, why pay for how much college is? Why pay
right.
for it?
Well, that is why I mean, it's almost like you need to have an insider just to ask, like real talk. Find somebody that you can actually ask, like at what point am I at risk for this? And maybe somebody who works in a different like competitor company, a friend, if they can find one that they can just ask, like,
I
what
don't
do you
think
think about this?
I don't think
I
this is as big of a deal anymore as people make it out to be.
no,
Again, I think unless you're a doctor or unless you're a but
I
again,
don't either, but there's corporate world and corporations that they require it because they require it because they always have. And even though it's not a big deal and this person's excelling, it could be the end of their career there. Just I'm just saying because certain corporations just they don't think like out of the box. Like, "Oh, wow, this person's
yeah.
excelling. Maybe you don't need a 4-year degree for this. Look at, their skill set and look at how they manage people and look at how creatively they think." And those are amazing skills, but some places just practice has been and they don't change with the times. Whereas other companies, and I can think of one specifically, unless you have to be a licensed professional there, they don't ever require a 4-year degree for any of their roles.
Hmm.
Just licensed professionals have to have, of course, a degree and license and all of that. But any other role is if you can speak to your skill set or you have the experience, like, we don't care.
What? Are you serious? Is that's the company you work for?
There's companies out there that
Oh,
they,
I'm like, hook me up, Stephanie. You don't need a
yes,
degree. I'll give advice all day long to people on my computer. I'll just one after another be like, cha-chang, leave him. And it'll just go on like that, so on and so forth, is what I imagine you do.
but
It's
you are
probably
trying to fall into the licensed role, not the general employee roles for not requiring a license. But that's the thing. I mean, to go back to this gentleman's situation, it stinks that he lied because now he has to figure out what do I do? Or do I try and transfer to a different company where I can just fully be honest and transparent? The problem is that the company he's at and moving up, it might come a time where it is
it's true. What if he
uncovered.
continues to move up and he's doing great? Will the business, probably not if it's a big corporate business, will not say, well, look at how amazing he is. You're right. They'll just chop it off and be like, the bottom line is this is what we wanted and you lied, and they won't even care, I bet. So don't
Yeah.
tell. Everybody just shut up.
That's the problem, right? We're all replaceable. As an amazing as an employee we can be, like, companies don't always look at people for what
Yeah.
they are or what they bring. They just look at them as, oh, we'll find somebody else. And so that's the hard part for this individual, is what that leaves for future growth. And yes, he doubled his income now for this one role, but is that going to be his ceiling if he stays here and doesn't come clean or doesn't find another place? There are places out there where you can work your way up from bank teller to manager to senior manager, director, VP without a college degree because you're a stellar employee. And maybe,
You're a go-getter.
yeah,
That's what
this person, I'm impressed with this person. I mean, I think they have a lot of
I think
skills
they're
and
I
he's
think
doing great.
I think he's in too deep to tell now. He's in too deep. You're in too deep of a lie. You zested it up and you made it so showy, and he should have just slid it in. He didn't do that. And so you're in too deep. You cannot now go back and say, at least if you just clicked on, yes, I have a 4-year degree or in business, at least you could be like, I accidentally clicked on that, but this guy went into detail about how good he's at it, and he might be. So that's today's Tell All Tuesday. It's obviously something that we do every single Tuesday, where we get the opinion of an actual mental professional, and then you get my opinion as well. And we both have differing opinions, but not really, right? You just couldn't sleep at night, and I'd sleep fine.
But my opinion is different for myself, right? Like, that's just my inner core being.
Oh my God.
Versus like what we're talking about here, right? Like, I can't put that on anybody else because that's me. If he can sleep at night, like, he can sleep at night. I think to this gentleman, he lied about the college degree and that stinks. However, I think he's a very smart and well-skilled and resourceful individual, and that he needs to really, like, honor the skill sets he has, even if he doesn't have the exact background that the job is looking for. So what is he going to do about the pickle of the education? But other than that, I don't see
It being a big deal.
it being a big deal.
Yeah. So this issue for Tell All Tuesday, it is on Facebook. Again, just search for Sadie and Friends, and you can leave your comment of what you think, if you think this guy really should be losing sleep, or if you think maybe he's a resourceful dude. Definitely let us know. And if you have any issues, again, whether it's family or children or friendships or people who run 5Ks on Thanksgiving, I'm looking at you. I know some crazy turkeys who got up and did that. I don't even know. It's so crazy. Good for you, but I just couldn't do that. Thank you for listening to today's episode, and thank you, Dr. G, Misty Gemstone, for giving us your professional opinion.
Always a pleasure, Sadie.
We're so good. That's it for today's episode of Sadie and Friends. Thank you so much for listening. If you've yet to do so, would you mind clicking that automatic download button? It just means so much. And then as we grow, it's just more opportunity, more people that I'm able to reach and talk to about their story, just more interesting things. And this week is no different. I'm so excited for you guys to hear everything that I have lined up. So hit that automatic download so you don't miss a show. And with over 200 episodes, you can definitely do some binging, or maybe go revisit if there's something that you want to hear again. And you can always send me in the comments on social media. You can let me know what you want to hear, topic ideas, or just something that you would like to hear a different take on. Just search for Sadie and Friends across all social media platforms. And before I say goodbye, I have to thank, of course, some ride or dies. It's Cristiana Salon Spa. At Cristiana Salon Spa, they're located in Johnstown. And you walk in there, and if you just mention the podcast, you're going to get 10% off right off the top. 10% off. So if you're going to get your hair done, maybe a new style for the holiday season. This is like the time of the year where I know I start really thinking about how I look. I know that sounds a little bit annoying, but what I mean is lots of pictures because you're going to Christmas parties and you're going to family functions, and it just seems like there's so much going on in the month of December. And so book your spot at Cristiana Salon Spa. Maybe you're looking for a gift. The perfect stocking stuffer would be a gift card, and then whoop, 10% off of that. Just that's kind of my gift to you as well. It's a double gift. So you have to put my name on the card as well.